I think there has to be a number of different answers to that question. Some would be from my work as a polarity therapist, and some would be from the perspective as a polarity teacher, and they're different. So if I speak from my heart, from myself as a polarity therapist, that what polarity for me is a way of connecting to the heart and soul of healing. What it means to be in a room with somebody who has some kind of physical, emotional problem of some form, and to be able to connect with them at such a deep level that ultimately some kind of transformation is possible. And obviously my focus in that is on them and their problems, because that's why they've come to see me. But for me, it's also a transformational process as I engage with them through the life force, through the energy, as we call it in polarity. It takes both of us on a journey. And it's a healing journey, hopefully. And sometimes that journey has many twists and turns. It's not always a straightforward progression to a particular goal, which might be healing or the freedom from pain or the resolution of some emotional problem. Within the context of the word polarity, meaning positive and negative, and many other layers of that word, that the journey to health is sometimes these twists and turns are like the shifts into positive and negative. But hopefully somewhere in that comes this synthesizing third force. You could talk about energy polarity as attraction and repulsion. You were attracted to go and see a therapist, and you're repelled by your pain. And so, at the same time as dealing with that attraction and repulsion, there's the seeking for a reconciliation, the reconciling force, which in polarity we call sattva, or the neutral pole. So we go from polarity to trinity, or triads, or triune, different phrases. But that's about this reconciling force. How do we reconcile the positives and negatives, the good and the bad, the illness and the health? Because illness and health they're really two sides of the same coin. They're the same thing. So how do we embrace both simultaneously? And that's a journey that I find that idea of reconciliation, the harmonization of positive and negative, the seeing them as two sides of the same thing, not as opposites, but as a polarity which can be unified through a third force, this reconciling force, the sattvic energy, consciousness, attention, awareness, whatever words you choose to use. That's the journey that I take with my clients, and for me that's the gift of polarity conceptually, is to have some sense of being able to rise above the polarities, rise above the positive and negative, see them as two sides of the same coin, see that the transformation, which is really the key to health, doesn't come from sort of just the positive and negative. It comes from this triune function, this triad of positive, negative, and neutral. So for me, as a polarity practitioner, that's the dance, that's the journey, that's the process that I engage with the client at a conscious level. But the transformation isn't just for me, it's not just for them, it's the transformation of what is a conjoined or a joint energetic system. When I even here now, just talking to you about polarity, we have an energetic connection. And yet I can hear the birds around us, and there's a bigger field of energy that we exist within, which can harmonize and change the relationship between us in a profound way. So that's when I said polarity for me is about finding the heart and soul of healing. And the heart and soul is also the connection between us, between myself and a client, if you were my client, and the journey that we take. And it is a joint journey. It's not the client, you client, me therapist. It's this joint journey that we take, and that takes us both to many places. So polarity for me it's not really that I think of polarity. I think of the triad. I think of the three that is one. You know, you can take it into a religious context if you want to, but it's positive, negative, and neutral, but it's that reconciliation of the polarities in life. That's what I think as a therapist that I work with my clients, and what I'm looking for is transformation. I'm not really looking for health with them. They may be looking for health, they may need to find that, but they also maybe need to transform their attitudes and their understanding of what health is and where we might be going in this shared polarity journey.